the internet, and welcome to the first movie of Review Week, The Wizard of Oz. Now, let's first go over the story. If you don't know the story to The Wizard of Oz, you do not know anything about films, or pretty much anything. This has been adapted into a, there's been a Futurama episode, short on it. There's been a Simpsons short on it. The Super Friends did a short on it. It's one of the most iconic stories ever. But let's say you've been living under a rock, or been in space for a very, 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 very long time. The story of The Wizard of Oz is that there is this girl called Dorothy who lives on a farm, and with her dog Toto and her family. And then one day there was a tornado, and she didn't get into the bomb shelter. Not the bomb, the bomb shelter. That's a tornado bomb. No, the tornado shelter in time. So she gets swept up by the tornado with her house, landing in the land of Oz, in the Munchkin Village. Ah, the Munchkin Village. What a lovely village. Never been there. But yes. She hits the Wicked Witch of the West, East, North, South, one of the four. One of the four. I think it's West. And she needs to get her way, and she needs to find a way home. On her travels, she meets three people. She meets a fairy, which is kind of like a guardian fairy angel, mabob, whoop-de-doo thing. A scarecrow, which is one of my favorite characters in the movie, who doesn't have a brain, and who doesn't have a brain. The Tin Man, who doesn't have a heart, and the Lion, who doesn't have any courage. I'm Batman! And they all travel to Oz together. Well, the fairy doesn't. She just, I'm in a bubble. I'm going to follow you around because I'm creepy and thing. And the four travel on an adventure to Oz with Toto to see if they can see if the Wizard of Oz can help them. If for a story-wise, it's basic, but it works very, 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 very well. And it's a classic, as I said. There's been so many things based around this simple but fantastic story. The story is just amazing. Now let's talk about the characters. First, let's talk about the main character, Dorothy. Dorothy is your average girl who's kind of like sweet and nice, but she just wants to get home. It's quite a nice character. Doesn't do anything wrong, and yeah. And let's talk about the main villain of the story, which I forgot to mention in the story segment. The Wicked Witch of the East, I think. One of them. It's not the one that got hit by the house. It's the sister of the one that got hit by the house. It's a bit confusing, but you'll get it. She is one of my favorite villains of all time. She's just so funny and so just like, I'm going to get you, Dorothy, and off I go, on a broomstick. And yeah, she's a fantastic villain, and I think she makes this movie really just funny. And I can see why people were scared of her as a kid, because it's most kids, this was the first villain that they ever came to see. Let's talk about the three people that, well, not people, they're not people, the three characters that follow Dorothy around to Oz. Let's talk about the Scarecrow. The Scarecrow is a character that doesn't have a brain, and he's been stuck on a pole for his whole life until Dorothy gets him off, and he's one of the funniest characters in the movie, kind of like walking really weirdly, falling over, and just like, whoa, I'm so crazy. And him getting scared of fire and other things, it just works really well. And they, I don't know who played him, but who did. That makeup must be quite hard to put on, because it looks like he has a bag over his face. Hope he doesn't have a bag over his face, or he's gonna go and suffocate. But yeah, it's quite he does a fantastic job, and he's really funny. Let's talk about the Tin Man, my least favourite of the companions, and probably not my least favourite character. I'll get to him in a second. Actually, there is no least favourite character, they're all as good as each other, but this is my least favourite companion. The Tin Man is a robot that had no... not really... yeah, robot. A robot that was not built with a heart, and rusted because he was left out in the rain, and he rusted up. So they found a tin can, made him all better, and now he's on the journey. He's the best dancer of the group, I'll give him that, because he can... just watch his dancing scene in the movie. He's really good, he's really funny, and just, man, that's really good. Also, he's the only one with a weapon, being his axe, which he doesn't actually use it through the movie, but it's an axe. Can I ask you a question? No, you can't. Go away. Okay. But yeah, for a character, he's my least favourite travelling character, but he's really good anyway. Now let's talk about the Lion, the last travelling character, and my favourite, and probably the funniest. The Lion doesn't have any courage, and tries to pretend he's kind of like a big shot, like, I'm gonna eat you. You think you're so tough? You think you're so tough? Oh! He actually sounds a bit like a wrestler when you first when they first meet him. Put him up. Oh, you think he's so tough? Oh, and that's how he sounds. And he's really funny, of him crying at the slightest thing, like a little tap on the nose from Dorothy when they first meet, because he's chasing. He's kind of like going, I'm gonna. Oh, put him up. I'll put him up. Don't hit me in the nose. And he kind of like, when he cries, he wipes it with his tail, and he's just so funny. And he's the one that usually just runs away. Like, when they actually meet Oz, he's kind of like, okay, I'm going over here now. He's just a really funny character. Let's talk about a Great Oz himself. The Great Oz, I'm not going to spoil it for any of you people that have been living under rocks or Martians, but he's the wizard, and he's quite developed, and he's really good character. Now let's talk about one of the better things in the film, which is the black and white and colour. Now during this film was probably, it was a really good idea that what they did was, in the real world, they had everything in black and white, where in the land of Oz and Munchkins and everybody happy and green-faced people, it's all in colour. That's a fantastic thing, and every parody of this has used that since, and not even just the parodies, some things have. That's one of the reasons why I didn't like The Wiz that much, because it didn't do that. That's one of the main reasons I didn't like The Wiz. I didn't mind Return to Oz because it was kind of like a sequel, though, because that one was weird. If you see this one, then go see Return to Oz. That one is freaky, but we're not here to talk about Return to Oz. So, yeah. Now let's talk about the songs. This is a musical anyway. The songs are some of the most catchiest, some of the most fun songs ever. From If I Only Had a Brain to Somewhere Over the Rainbow, and we're off to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz. We really is a wizard, ever there whiz there was. If ever I'm not gonna sing, I promised I wouldn't sing, Save that till later, I'm gonna break my promise later. Okay, but the songs are fantastic. You can get the soundtrack anywhere, keep it, put it in a lock and safe that you only have the key for. Don't let anybody else hear it, unless they pay you £1 billion. That's how good the soundtrack is. So yeah, there's nothing much more to say about this film. Fantastic film. If you haven't seen it yet, go see it. I give the original Wizard of Oz a 10 out of 10 for being fantastic, being one of the best stories in film history, and some of the best songs. And before I go, Disney, you better not ruin it with Oz, the great and powerful. If you do, I will come to your house and steal one of your lightsabers and go slash through Mickey Mouse's head. But only if you ruin it. Oh yeah, and I forgot the best song of the thing. I'm going to sing this. I almost forgot the best song in the movie. We represent the Lollipop Guild, the Lollipop Guild. We represent the Lollipop Guild, the Lollipop Guild, the Lollipop Guild. Okay, that is the worst bit of the movie, but it's still really funny. So yeah, guys, see you tomorrow for Wreck-It Ralph, and then it'll be the end of review week. No. See you guys later. Bye.